Trauma, a term everyone seems to use to explain why they're the way they are. I have a hard time with communication because in my childhood, whenever I tried to speak up for myself, my parents would shut me down and scold me for being disrespectful. I have toxic tendencies because my emotionally manipulative ex left me broken. I am emotionally closed off because I've been hurt way too many times that I'd rather feel numb than experience that pain again. It's liberating, isn't it? To understand the reasons behind why you behave a certain way and realize that it's not your fault. There's a sense of relief in the fact that it was beyond your control. And yet, it's exactly because it was beyond your control that you also feel disempowered. You didn't want to have issues with communication. You weren't trying to be toxic. You didn't choose to be emotionally closed off. But someone or something made you, and now you have to live your life with those shackles holding you back from living your life to the fullest. It's unfair, isn't it? To be tied down to something that you had no control over, to think that if this never happened to you, your life would have had a better trajectory. But how long will you continue to blame others and wallow in your own misery? All too often, we fixate on how others have wronged us, but rarely do we ever think about how we can overcome the demons inflicted on us. But why should I? It's not my fault. You're right, it's not your fault. But it is still your responsibility. Yes, they hurt you. They left you broken, and they made your life more difficult. But at the end of the day, those are problems you have to deal with. Will your problems be solved if the ones that wronged you apologized or tried to make up for it? Will it enable you to communicate flawlessly? Will it dissolve your toxic traits? Will it tear down those emotional walls you built up? No. The damage is already done, and only you can fix them. That is why it is your responsibility. Taking responsibility is not the same as accepting fault. It is holding yourself accountable to taking actions that will lead you to a more fulfilling life. Will you choose to overcome your traumas, become a better person as a result of it, and live the life you've always wanted? Or will you choose to indulge in self-pity, resent the world, and dream about the life you could have had? The choice is yours. This is the value of responsibility. By taking ownership of the things in your life, regardless of how they came to be, you take back some of the control that life has taken from you. And as a result, you have more power to change your life to the one you've dreamt of. It's twistedly ironic that taking responsibility for the baggage placed on us by forces outside of our control gives us more control over our lives. And I understand, it's not easy. It's not fair. To have to be the bigger person because of someone else's emotional immaturity, to have more problems put on your plate because of someone's incompetence or because the universe is playing some twisted joke. It makes you feel like life's doormat, like you're some pushover that takes trash from everyone without retaliation. It's cruel, but it's precisely because it's cruel that you need to find your light to counteract that darkness. Retribution against those that wronged you is undeniably satisfying, but only for a moment. In the end, you are still left broken. But if you fix yourself from within, you patch the holes in your metaphorical bucket, you will be fulfilled because there will no longer be holes where water will leak out of. You've probably heard this saying, but I'm going to say it anyway because it left such a strong impression on me. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. On a side note, I have nothing against people getting what they deserve. If I'm being upfront, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. And also, it's just part of being human. I'm not that much of an idealist to think that peace and kindness will solve all our problems, but I stand by the idea that the intentions behind our actions should be from a place of light, not darkness. Fix yourself first, clear out the darkness in your mind, and then, if you still crave retribution, which I'd argue means that there's still some holes in your metaphorical bucket you missed, but everyone is different so it's not my place to judge, and seek it out and relish it. Because justice has been served and you're no longer broken. Alright, fourth wall broken, side tangent over, let's get back to the regular programming. Taking responsibility for your personal issues inflicted on you by others does not make you a pushover. It's actually the opposite. It gives you the opportunity to become a better person so that you are more resilient when life continues to throw more problems your way. And life will continue to throw problems your way. That's just reality. But things will be different the next time because you will be better equipped to handle the situation. Life will try to push you down, but you will be unfazed. I say these things not because they are the right thing to do, but because it's personally transformed my life for the better. Growing up, I was a quiet and socially anxious guy that struggled with communication and self-assuredness. When I learned more about the psychology of the human mind and how childhood has a profound impact on how our minds function when we get older, it all started to click. I had unearthed the foundations for why my mind operates in such a self-sabotaging manner. The reason why I feel like nothing I do matters is because of all the times my parents invalidated the way I felt. The reason why I have self-esteem issues is because my parents made me feel like I was the worst person in the world whenever I did something wrong. And the reason why I have general anxiety and my heart rate elevates when I hear sudden loud noises is because of all the constant slamming and yelling I'd hear while I was in my room. This isn't to say that my parents were bad people. They were struggling with their own issues. But I was so fixated on my childhood upbringing, and it left me feeling bitter and powerless. I hated the way I was, but nothing was going to change if I didn't do anything about it. I couldn't heal unless I allowed myself to. And genuinely taking ownership over how my life turns out has been the single most profound thing that has changed the way I see the world and the way I see myself. It's allowed me to see my parents not as strict authoritative overlords, but as people trying to navigate this world with the tools they have access to. It has made me more proactive in seeking out the things I value in life, and has allowed me to find a purpose in my life that goes beyond just surviving day by day. The issues I face as a result of my upbringing are still an ongoing battle I face today, but I now believe I truly have the power to overcome them and transform them into something I could be proud of. Maybe taking this step will do the same for you. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Take care, guys, and remember, we're all in this together.